Hi everyone, welcome to Cube Quiz. Are you preparing for a Kubernetes certification or a DevOps interviews? Struggling to remember those crucial commands and concepts? You're not alone. I have designed this quiz video to help you confidently retain the most important commands and concepts for your certifications and interviews. So in this video, I have brought in a little help from my AI assistant. Let's name her Kia, Kubernetes Interactive Assistant. So she'll walk you through the 20 must-know Kubernetes questions. She'll read out the questions and options for you, giving you a brief moment to think before revealing the correct answer. So the goal here is to engage your brain, build confidence, and make sure those key concepts stick much better than simply memorizing or reading commands. Make sure you try to answer each question before the timer runs out. If you want, you can pause the video, jot down your answers, and then resume the video to check how you did. Alright, let's get started and see how well you know your Kubernetes.
What is the primary role of controllers in Kubernetes? They manage the storage and persistent data within the Kubernetes cluster. They monitor Kubernetes objects and take appropriate actions based on their state. They handle networking and communication between pods. They provide a graphical user interface for managing Kubernetes objects. The correct answer is, they monitor Kubernetes objects and take appropriate actions based on their state. What command can you use to list all pods in a specific namespace? kubectl get pods, kubectl describe pods, kubectl list pods, kubectl show pods. The correct answer is kubectl get pods. To connect a web app pod in the default namespace to a service named DB service in the dev namespace, what is the correct hostname format? Local, 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 local. Image fields specify in a pod definition YAML, the container's CPU limit, the image registry to pull the image from, the image to use for the container, the container's memory limit. The correct answer is, the image to use for the container. Which of the following command can be used to create a pod from a YAML file? kubectl create f file name, kubectl run f file name, kubectl init f file name, kubectl start f file name. The correct answer is kubectl create f file name. What is the main purpose of a replica set in Kubernetes? To load balanced traffic across pods. To ensure that a specified number of pod replicas are running at all times. To expose the pods to the outside network. To store the configuration of pods. The correct answer is, to ensure that a specified number of pod replicas are running at all times. What command would you use to scale a replica set? kubectl scale rs less than replica set name greater than, replicas equals less than number greater than. kubectl resize rs less than replica set name greater than, size equals less than number greater than. kubectl set rs less than replica set name greater than, count equals less than number greater than. The correct answer is, kubectl scale rs less than replica set name greater than, replicas equals less than number greater than. When a new deployment is created, what is the result of the rollout process? Deletion of the previous deployment revision. Creation of a new deployment revision. Creation of a new replica set. Scaling up of the pods. The correct answer is, creation of a new deployment revision. Which command is used to view the status of a deployment? kubectl get deployment, kubectl describe deployments, kubectl status deployments, kubectl view deployments. The correct answer is, kubectl describe deployments. How do you perform a rolling update on a deployment? By modifying the deployment YAML file and applying changes with kubectl apply. By deleting the existing deployment and creating a new one. By restarting the pods manually. By scaling the deployment down to 0 and then up again. The correct answer is, by modifying the deployment YAML file and applying changes with kubectl apply. What is the purpose of a rolling update in Kubernetes? To stop all pods and replace them with new ones. To update pods gradually without causing downtime. To delete all pods before starting the update. To clone the existing pods and run them in parallel. The correct answer is, to update pods gradually without causing downtime. Which command rolls back a failed deployment to the previous version? kubectl undo deployment less than deployment name greater than. kubectl rollback deployment less than deployment name greater than. kubectl reverse deployment less than deployment name greater than. The correct answer is, kubectl rollback deployment less than deployment name greater than. What happens if you update a deployment to use an invalid container image? The old pods continue running, and new pods with the invalid image fail to start. All pods are immediately stopped, and the deployment enters a crash state. Kubernetes automatically fixes the issue by pulling a different image. The deployment will be deleted automatically. The correct answer is, the old pods continue running, and new pods with the invalid image fail to start. How can you define a declarative configuration in Kubernetes? Using a YAML or JSON file to define the desired state of resources. Using CLI commands to interact with the API directly. By editing pod configurations in real time through the dashboard. By writing bash scripts to control the Kubernetes nodes. The correct answer is, using a YAML or JSON file to define the desired state of resources. What is the difference between imperative and declarative configurations in Kubernetes? Imperative directly changes the state, declarative defines the target state. Declarative is for debugging, imperative is for production. Imperative configurations are more secure than declarative ones. Declarative configurations use JSON while imperative uses YAML. The correct answer is, imperative directly changes the state, declarative defines the target state. Which Kubernetes command can be used to apply declarative configuration changes? kubectl apply, kubectl deploy, kubectl create, kubectl init. The correct answer is, kubectl apply. Which command allows you to switch between namespaces in Kubernetes? kubectl set namespace, kubectl change namespace. kubectl config set context, current, namespace equals less than namespace greater than. kubectl config use namespace less than namespace greater than. The correct answer is, kubectl config set context, current, namespace equals less than namespace greater than. How do you list all namespaces in a Kubernetes cluster? kubectl list namespaces, kubectl describe namespaces, kubectl get namespaces, kubectl show namespaces. The correct answer is, kubectl get namespaces. In a Kubernetes definition file, how is the metadata field typically defined? As a string value, as a numerical value, as a Boolean value, as a dictionary-like structure. The correct answer is, as a dictionary-like structure. What is the role of namespaces in Kubernetes? They isolate network traffic between pods. They enable multiple users to have isolated resources within the same cluster. They provide load balancing for services. They are used for scaling pods horizontally. The correct answer is, they enable multiple users to have isolated resources within the same cluster. Quiz completed. Thank you for participating in the quiz.